How's it going, Eliminators? Today we're going to be checking out a Milwaukee work light and why you may want to purchase one if you're into small engine repair. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So in today's video, we're going to be checking out this Aaron's 11.5 28-inch LE, and more specifically, we're going to be checking out this Milwaukee work light that I absolutely love for working on snowblowers. It's got a magnetic base, it's got a long extended arm, and it's got a swivel head on it. So you guys have seen me use this little inspection light in the past. This is just a M12 inspection light. The part number for this is a 2351-20, and this has a hook that you can pop out and swivel, so you can hang this off of pretty much any surface. However, when you're working on a snowblower, sometimes you need both hands and you don't always have the perfect spot to hang a light like this. So that's where this underbody work light from Milwaukee comes into play. This thing is absolutely awesome. Like I said, it has a big magnetic base on it. It's super strong, and this has been designed to essentially attach to a vehicle's frame rail, and then you would position the arm and the pivoting head anywhere you need, press the power button, the light comes on, and it works with all M12 batteries. So I'll give you guys some part numbers now. The part number for the tool only, so no battery, no charger, is going to be a 2126-20. Now, as you're going to see up on the left of the screen, that's going to run you about $268. So this Milwaukee work light is by no means cheap. However, I'm going to tell you guys how you can save a little bit of money. If you were to look at purchasing the combo pack, part number 2126-21XC, you're going to get the underbody work light, but you're also going to receive a 4 amp hour M12 extended capacity battery and single M12 battery charger. The price of that one is going to be $368. So you're spending $100 more for the combo than you would for just the tool only. So going back to these part numbers here, forget buying the tool only. Go ahead and get yourself that combo kit. I'm going to put some photos up on screen. On the left, you're going to see the cost of that 4 amp hour extended capacity battery. Again, these are Canadian prices. You're going to see $138 there. To the right, you're going to see a photo of the Milwaukee M12 single battery charger. That's going to cost $55 by itself. So if you add on the additional $38 from the battery and $55 from the charger, you guys are going to be saving approximately $93 by buying this combo kit versus going out and buying all the parts separately, which you're probably going to do eventually once you start acquiring more Milwaukee tools that need more batteries to function. Now, the reason why I like this work light so much is because of the incredibly strong magnetic base. You can pretty much stick that to any of these snowblowers because most of them have a metal auger housing or a metal chassis. We're going to flip this unit up in a moment, and I'll show you why it's so good to be servicing a snowblower when you have the access panel right there off of the snowblower. You flip these units up. This light comes in super handy because you can just stick it to the side and route that light pretty much anywhere. It has this awesome extended arm here. So if you guys were working on a snowblower and you didn't have a magnetic parts tray and you just wanted to keep a hold of some of those bolts that you're taking out of there, that magnetic arm pretty much has enough magnetism to hold various nuts and bolts and even small wrenches and sockets as well. The base of the arm will pivot pretty much 360 degrees. It's not quite exactly, but it gives you enough adjustability to put that light into pretty much any position you want. And then the head of this thing also rotates almost 360 degrees as well. So you get a full range of motion of this part as well. And then it has a power button, so that's going to turn your light on. And then you have 3 different modes here. So you have the bright mode, slightly less bright, not so bright, and then back to bright. So it works pretty good. You can turn it on and off just like that. Just like all of the M12 line of products, you have the power readout LED right there. So you guys will be able to see how much power your battery has. I just have my 2 amp hour M12 battery here that we dropped a few times, so this one we use for this particular light. But again, you can pretty much use any of the M12 line of batteries on this. So if you wanted to put the big 8 amp hour or a 6 amp hour or even the 4 amp hour extended capacity one, you'd be able to run this light for pretty much all day if you wanted to. Now this Ariens snowblower did come in for a service. We've already changed the impeller belt because the old one needed to be replaced. And again, it is nice to have that adjustability in that light to go in here and just give yourself a little bit of extra light on the actual piece of equipment that you're working on versus having a whole bunch of fluorescent or LED lights overhead from your shop ceiling. So for filming these videos, I try to have as much light output as I can, and we do have 4 bar lights up here that are scattered across the ceiling just to kind of illuminate as best we can without giving too much white light off. So we do have diffusers on them because the white light can affect my videos sometimes, so I occasionally have to adjust the lighting so that it doesn't look a little something like that, and also it doesn't look a little too dark like that. Just in case you're wondering, this light does have an output of 1200 lumens at the highest setting. Again, there are going to be 3 different settings. So you're going to have 1200 lumens, you're going to have 800 lumens, and then you're going to have 600 lumens. And they figured it out that with the XC, extended capacity 4 amp hour battery, at the highest setting of 1200 lumens, this thing will run for 5 hours. And then at the lowest setting of 600 lumens, it'll run for 15 hours again with the XC 4.0. And then here is your adjustability specifics. So like I said, not a complete 360 degree, but you really don't need that. It does swivel 300 degrees with a pivot of 130 degrees at the base. And then the head also swivels 300 degrees with a pivot of 180 degrees. So quite versatile. Again, wanted to share this video. I'm going to get this snowblower flipped up and show you how I use this thing when servicing the undersides of snowblowers. So the access panel has been removed. We're in here greasing some things and taking the bottom strap belt keeper off of this Ariens snowblower here to change that impeller belt. And geez, we would like a little bit more light underneath this snowblower. Again, I have 4 fairly bright overhead lights mounted to the ceiling, but there is some shadowing that comes underneath this housing. You'd like a little bit more light in here. So we have the Milwaukee underbody work light. We're simply going to turn that on, and now everything is illuminated under here. You can go in and inspect pretty much everything you need to do. Chains, sprockets, gearing, rubber friction disc, the belts, the friction plate. Go in there, lubricate everything you need to do. You're not going to be missing anything with this work light here. And again, it just sticks to the side of pretty much any snowblower because for the most part, all of the auger housings and the chassis are built out of metal. We pretty much use everything Milwaukee here except for our drills. They are rigid, but I have a 1/2 inch drive that I use an extended capacity 6 amp hour battery on. That's my big impact for taking off riding lawnmower blades because they're going to have a larger size bolt or nut. Then I have my 3/8 drive impact here running the XC 4.0. So that ended up coming from the light, and I use that on the impact there. Works awesome. Additionally, I have the little ratchet here with, what is this? Another 2 amp hour. You really don't need the big batteries on these. Those are just for zipping bolts in and out. And then I also have my 90 degree 3/8 drive Milwaukee impact here. And this thing is super awesome. And I also use an extended capacity 6 amp hour battery on this. So pretty much all of the larger Milwaukee tools we're using the 6 amp hour, and the smaller one we're using the 4, and then any of the little tools we're using the 2 or the 3 amp hour smaller M12 batteries. If you were to put one of these extended capacity 6 amp hour batteries onto this Milwaukee work light and leave it on the low brightness mode, I'm almost positive that thing would last for 24 hours. But this thing, again, for what you need it for, you can just shut it off, and when you come back, you turn it back on, because let's face it, I don't think I would ever need this light to stay on for 15 straight hours. And once again, for full transparency here at Eliminator Performance, this is not a sponsored video. As much as I'd love to be sponsored by Milwaukee, I went out and purchased the light and the batteries and everything else that you've seen here in this video myself. So you'll know that there's no trickery here. This is not a paid review. This thing I use pretty much every day now. It's a great little shop light, even though my table here isn't magnetic, but what is magnetic is my cabinet up here. So once again, you'll be figuring out all kinds of different uses for this thing. So if you were working on something similar to this governor setup and you just needed a little bit more shop light, there you go, guys. You can pretty much see everything you're working on because you'll have the Milwaukee work light mounted overhead there. So like I said, if you're in the small engine repair business, it might be worth your while to pick one up. And I'm just working on one of these little 22-inch MTD snowblowers here. I did the video on the plastic wheel recall. You guys can click the top right of your screen to check that out. But yeah, once again, this Milwaukee work light here, I'm gonna be greasing up the axles and the gear here. This is the one with the plastic transmission, and I just have to replace a transmission tension spring there. But you know, I can swing this light around from either side, and like, this is a great service light, especially for snowblowers, and I would highly recommend it. And just to wrap things up, you're definitely going to want to stay tuned to the channel. Within the next 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to see a video on this. This is going to be an engine that came off of a snowblower that was completely rotted out. Essentially, what I'm doing is taking 3 snowblowers that didn't function, and I'm making our own personal snowblower for here at the shop. We're going to be going over certain things like an alternator or stator upgrade inside so you can run heated hand grips on the snowblower. We're also going to be covering a fixed governor to manual adjustable governor swap. So that's going to be a conversion or upgrade, whatever you want to call it, as well as ease of use things like a muffler cover upgrade, simple things like that that just make your life a lot easier. This engine is going to be going on my own personal snowblower that you may have seen in the back of the shop there. So like I said, stay tuned to the channel for that. Well, that's going to be it for today's video. Just a quick one, but I know that the old man had been commenting on some other small engine repair YouTube channels and has been discussing this work light with those in the community. So I wanted to make this video to share it because this work light does work great. It is a little costly, but in the end, it's definitely worth the money. And with that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, think about leaving me a thumbs up. You know, it really helps me out. You can click here to subscribe and click over here to watch one of my previous videos. I upload every single week, so be sure to stop on by next week, check channel out for new content. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.